Today, what I would like to talk about is to start with what Hippocrates said 400 BC. He's a very big Greek physician. He said, "Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food." How important it is. It's a very powerful statement we can all think about because we are what we eat, don't we? So whatever we put into our body, it's going to have a huge influence on our overall performance and productivity and also the well-being. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about why it's important to take care of our gut health. As Nanette was mentioning, there is one particular nerve called vagus nerve that actually connects our gut to our brain. And research studies have shown that activating vagus nerve and stimulating the vagus nerve basically relieve the symptoms of anxiety and also stress in people who were going through depression and depressive episodes. So that actually makes us think how important it is to keep our gut healthy because it can influence our mood and it can influence our brain mechanisms. So what happens? How can we keep our gut healthy? Okay, before we actually go into that, we just need to find out the factors that affect our gut health. It could be an external factor, which is coming outside, from our body, or it could be the internal factor. So at Gistavia, we actually talk about taking care of the environment. Environment is quite important. And then any external factors, whether it be like pollution, we have too much plastic, and we get all those complex chemicals getting into our body, and that can have a huge influence on our gut microbiome and the gut microbes. That's from the external source. And from the internal source, one of the major reasons that affects our gut health is stress. Most of the people go through stress on a day-to-day basis. It's more about how we handle the stress effectively. And then I always have this little thing like when people talk about stress, stressed. And then if you flip that, what do you get? Dessert. Right? Not that I'm encouraging you to eat too much sugary things, but like you can think about something sweet and then you can feel better about it. Right? Just on a lighter note. But what Kate actually said is quite important. We need to de-stress and debrief every day. It's not that I'm going to take a vacation once every 2 months or no, we have to do the debriefing on a day-to-day basis to relieve stress. And for that, breathing is such a powerful tool to do it. Right? So we just need to think about how the external environment needs to be clean, and also our internal environment also needs to be clean so that our gut microbiome is well and good, and that can contribute to positive well-being and positive, brain signaling. Okay, now the second part of the presentation, I want to talk about epigenetics. David probably are quite familiar with that. So it's a very fascinating field of study, epigenetics. Epi means a layer, beyond genetics. So one may argue that, I'm born with this particular thing, and what can I do about it? Look, we can't change certain things. For example, I got a black or black hair and a brown eye, and I can't change it to blonde. We are born with it. But what I can do is I can work on the environment I'm living in, and I can change the internal dialogue, whatever I'm having, and it leads to a range of genetic mechanisms. In genetics, we call it as methylations and acetylations, and then that can have an impact at our cellular level, at the DNA level. So there is a choice. There is a choice for us to get better. So I encourage all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to use that choice. Change your environment. They say that your life will be determined by the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with very positive people who are always on the growth mindset and with high emotional intelligence to actually help you to grow, then your life will be successful. If we are surrounding ourselves with people who are negative and then who don't have much interest towards our growth, then obviously, it's going to have a negative impact. So we want to eliminate that. So we want to stay positive and surround ourselves with positive people. So with that in mind, I want to conclude that your environment will have a huge impact on your overall well-being. So please be mindful of that. And when it comes to your internal environment, always pay attention to what you tell yourself. If you're standing in front of the mirror, waking up, looking at the mirror and tell yourself that you are a failure, that's what's going to happen. If you tell yourself that, today is going to be a very positive day and I'm going to do something amazing, then that's what's going to happen. So the internal dialogue of what you tell yourself is very important. Plus, the type of food you eat will have a huge influence on your overall well-being. Make sure you eat a good proportion of, the building blocks. What are they? Carbohydrates, fat, and protein. These are the building blocks. Make sure you have a good balance of these 3 things and lead a very healthy and happy life. I wish you all very best. Thank you.